Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome to the show. So we are carrying on, and now the second segment of the show actually is um, commemorating people who have reverted to the Deen of Islam. Recently on Saturday, we actually had a book launch of Mr. Abdul Khaliq Mater, and his book is the stories of people who had reverted to Islam. And the book is about, like, people had diarized how their travels were, subhanAllah. And it was one of the most amazing points is that you find that every person has a story to tell. But also, every person's story is unique. But most importantly, is that our aim was one, reaching Allah, and subhanAllah, through this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us. Now, we'll be speaking with Sister Nuraan, and we'll be speaking more in terms of her journey into Islam, pre-Islam and post-Islam. So Sister Nuraan is a mother who was born to a Portuguese father and a colored mother, and she actually was born and raised in a Catholic family. Then in 2021, subhanallah, she then reverted to Islam. But her story, trust you me, is one of the books because it is a very unique and interesting, and it shows that everybody is born on the fitrah, is born innocent, and always trying to understand and discover the truth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ukhta. Welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And Jazakallah for having me.
No, it's a pleasure having you around because we get to learn a lot. One of the points I remember mentioning on Saturday was that when we talk about reverting to Islam, it's not just learning about the journeys of those who reverted, but also it's something that try to resonate in us and remind us why we are here as Muslims, and so that we can, inshallah, try more and more. Anyhow, now, subhanallah, the story from the beginning. When did your interest for Islam begin?
My interest for Islam, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Um, it began when I was 6 years old. I was in the mall, in a Santon City mall with my mom, and a lady crossed my path. But this woman was a Muslim woman dressed in niqab, and to me she was just, although she was covered up, she really was the most beautiful angel I had ever seen. And I started following her through the mall, not realizing that I had let go of my mom's hand. And there was just this light beaming from her. And I just wanted to get closer to her to see what this light was. And I remember just, following around all through the mall. And eventually I lost track of her because it was so full. But I remember standing there and thinking, when I grow up, that is exactly what I want to look like. So I didn't understand why she was covered or what what she was or anything because I was just 6 years old. But what I remember clearly is that she was so beautiful, so full of light. And it's almost like she was floating through the mall as opposed to walking like all the other people. So to me, it was like an angel.
MashaAllah.
And that's how my
Subhanallah.
interest started.
Subhanallah. Now, at that time, at 6 years of age, Subhanallah, you had this curiosity of what is this woman here, draped up, clothes, you can't even see her face. What was going on in your mind at that time? Like, what was the buzz in the mind and the heart at the same time?
Well, my heart was it was filled with happiness because I had never seen something so precious and so beautiful. And in my mind, I just wanted to get to know her. I just wanted to get closer to her, to touch the garment she was wearing, to find out what her name was, if she was really an angel floating in the mall, if I was really seeing what I was seeing, or if it was something different, if she was actually human and normal. But she was just really beautiful.
Subhanallah. Now, you said this happened when you were 6. Subhanallah, you
Yeah,
can still remember it as yesterday. Allah Akbar. That just means that the impact was great for a person to remember after so many years. Now, fast forward
Absolutely.
to the time now you had decided that this is the time that I should become one. 2021. What was the mood? What was the feeling now that you have to now detach yourself from the culture, the lifestyle that you were born and raised into a foreign culture as we see it in this minority setting in South Africa? How was that part of your life?
Okay, so for me, it wasn't so much as a foreign thing because from the age of 6, I was curious about Islam. So I
Hmm.
surrounded myself with Muslims. I always asked questions. I always wanted to know and learn, and that made it a bit easier for me. But there was an event that took place in my life just prior to the time that I took that step, and I got divorced, and I moved out with my kids into a a new city, a place that I wasn't familiar with, and being who I am, I didn't ask for any assistance from anyone. So I had taken all my money to set myself and my kids up. And it was about three to 4 days before my next payday, and I ran out of food. And I remember just feeding my kids the supper the night, and I didn't know what to do. Um, I looked at them as they fell asleep, and I remember feeling slightly despondent, but at the same time, I knew what I had to do. So the night, um, just before I closed my eyes, I said a prayer, and in in that, I said, God, you alone know my situation, and you made me, so you know that I will not ask. But what I do ask is that you show me where you want me and show me who you are. And I closed my eyes and I slept. That night, I had such a profound dream. I dreamed that I was dressed as I am now, and I took my kids walking through this town, this new town that I wasn't familiar with, and we went into a doctor's surgery, and I asked the doctor to borrow me 200 rand because I needed to buy food for my kids. And the doctor said to me, "Well, I'm not a loan shark, and I can't borrow you. I can give you medication." And I said to him, "I am not sick, but what I really do need is some money." And I remember him looking at me and not even blinking. I don't know what was going through his mind, but then he took the money out, and before he gave it to me, he said, "What guarantee do I have that you're actually going to come back?" And I said to him, "Doctor, I have nothing to offer you but my word." And he handed the money to me. Um, when I woke up the next morning, I did exactly that. And I remember as I walked through the town, every landmark that I saw in my dream was exactly that. So Allah had taken me by the hand and showed me exactly where He wanted me to go. Even the conversation I had with the doctor in reality was exactly that the night before. So not only did He show me, but He prepared me emotionally and physically for this journey. And I got the money. I had the conversation with the doctor, and I went across the road to a ShopRite, and I went and did shopping for my kids. And when I came out of there, I saw the trolley looked like I had shopped with 2,000 rand as opposed to 200 rand.
Subhanallah.
Um, Subhanallah. It just shows the barakah that was in that money. Um, and I was so grateful. I stood there and I looked at the smiles on my children's faces because they were so shocked that, gee, mommy, you bought such a lot of things. We even have toys, and sweeties. And, a mother's heart is always brightened by the smile of her kids. So, yeah, he had definitely shown me where he wanted me to be and who he was by providing
Subhanallah.
for me. Allah has
Allah.
shown me that He's the ultimate decision maker. He is the sustainer. He will lift you up when you are totally down, and He will always show up no matter what situation you are in. Um, so shukr. That was the beginning of my journey.
MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Subhanallah. Now, many people, when you hear their stories, also it always evolves around a person's inclination. And subhanallah, from your side, this started when you were only 6 years of age. And throughout your life, as you mentioned, that you had befriended a lot of Muslims and learned from them also. And so much saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was preparing you all those years for the time you actually took that step. Subhanallah. Now, obviously, it always comes with, in different situations, also that the family members might ostracize a person. Like one of the stories you heard on Saturday was one sister, her whole family turned against her and she was alienated. Now, for your sake or your side, how was the transition now from being born and raised in a Catholic family now to revert to Islam?
So with me, it was really it was such a blessing because my mom, well, we do have Muslim family, so it wasn't something foreign to her. Um, and because at that young age, I just was not feeling the Catholic Church. I would always ask questions like, why can we not speak to God directly? Why should
Mm,
we go via Mother Teresa to ask her for forgiveness? You know? And I just was not happy with the answers I was getting. And after the event at the mall, I told my mom constantly, when I grow up, I'm going to be Muslim. And I guess it took her, it gave her a chance to build up to that point where I eventually came and said, Mom, now is the time. So she was really happy that I found something um, concrete to hold on to. I found a religion I was happy with. And as long as I knew who God was and I was serving him in truth and in spirit, she was really receptive to that.
Subhanallah. And as for the children, how are they coping with the transition in that aspect as well?
So my youngest two are Muslim. The older ones are not there yet. But I make dua every single day that Allah guide them
Um,
as He had guided me at such a
I
young
mean,
age.
no, I mean, most definitely. I mean, that's one of the aspects of being Muslim, that we do not force Islam upon anyone. We just make dua, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides the person. Again, one the main
Yes,
aspect you speak, uh,
true.
the
And
main aspect
I
you spoke of.
definitely believe,
Mm,
I definitely believe that instead of forcing something down their throats, that I rather um, be the person that I would want them to be.
mm,
So teach them through my actions as opposed to telling them what I want from them.
100%. I mean, 100%. That's actually one of the points we always speak on Deen Islam, is that Islam is a practical lifestyle. It's not about what's in the books. It's not about the theory, the things that you
Absolutely.
read. Mashallah, you have to actually to act it for people to understand what it is. We have a lot of Muslim, non-Muslim, sorry, friends and family members, and according to the life we live, that's when they know the true Islam. They do not even need to go online on Google and start typing and asking questions about Islam. And they'll
Absolutely.
just, mashallah, that's exactly what it is. Now, in terms of the some other brothers and sisters who had reverted to Deen, however, the outcome of the transition has been quite, I can say, not unfavorable. Like we mentioned, the one sister was ostracized by family, etc. Now, there seems to be a gap in terms of trying to help the people to transition into Deen. According to your outlook on the point, what would be an easy way for people to feel at home whenever they want that communal, love and connection when they have been cast out from their own families, etc. Inshallah.
I feel like there should be. organizations or just some support systems at all the masjids in the specific areas, mainly focused on reverts,
Mm,
giving them the tools to perform salah, showing them the steps, and teaching them deen. It's very easy to take someone and help, well, assist them in saying the shahada. But then
mm,
what happens to them after that? They know absolutely nothing. They're like babies. So
mm,
I wouldn't take a newborn baby, place them on a bed, and then walk away and say goodbye, baby. I've done my part. It is now up to you. What we should do is treat them like newborn babies, assist them, feed them the word, show them what Islam is all about. And also for the new Muslims that have just embraced, if you know that your family isn't receptive to a different religion or a different way of life, I would say do not approach them immediately. You sort yourself out first. Learn
mm,
about Islam. Make dua. And inshallah, Allah will give you the tools and the knowledge to deal with your families, to have the answers that they're looking for. If they ask you questions about Islam, why are you choosing the religion? What makes it different to what we learning and things like that, you'll be equipped if you just give yourself that time to learn. Knowledge is power, and dua is our strongest weapon.
mm.
So we just need those resources around to assist these newcomers, inshallah.
MashaAllah. No, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of them and also help people like yourself, myself, everyone else out there be an inspiration for people who are going through a tough time transitioning. Now, the last question is in terms of those people who are interested or trying to look up Islam, etc., what would be your advice on not actually giving up according to maybe they seem that the laws are too heavy. Maybe there's a sense of misogyny that's coming through or patriarchy against women, etc. There's certain things that when people see it from the outside, obviously they seem negative. Now, how do we encourage those people who are trying to find the light and the truth about Islam into what we can find as being Islam, the way of life, inshallah?
My advice to them would be to attend Islamic talks, listen to lectures, go to Islamic functions, meet people, introduce yourself to different Muslim people, ask questions. You know, it's easy to ask and to get knowledge than to go on the internet and read something and not know whether or not it's legit. But just surround yourself with Muslim people and
Mm,
have an open mind. It is not a Islam is not a forced thing, and it is not so much laws and regulations as it is a way of life. So live it with someone for a while, see what it's all about, but do so with an open mind and an open heart.
mm,
Make dua that Allah gives you the understanding, if that is what it takes before finally taking that step to embrace Islam completely, is get
mm.
that knowledge.
I mean, most definitely, most definitely. It's all about the knowledge and also getting the knowledge in the right place and not on
Yes.
Google, etc., and other internet advices that we might actually search for. Jazakumullah khaira, Sister Nuran. It has been a pleasure and would really love to learn more and find. Sometimes people, one of the things that we understand in life is that your iman, your belief, or your faith doesn't really stay strong forever. Some days it's at zero, some days maybe at 50, maybe at 100, but it fluctuates. Now, we would like
Okay.
to, we always need to be reminded to go back into the basics, inshallah. But Jazakumullah khair, you have taken us through that. And inshallah ta'ala, we really make dua that Allah makes us all strong, yourself, and
Amen.
grant us the understanding of deen and the guidance And also, most importantly, may Allah guide your children and make them the
Ameen.
stalwarts of this beautiful deen of Allah. And may Allah, other people from your family and friends and us, also everyone around us, learn more of about Islam through our acts, not just what we say, but what we do, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairah.
Ameen. Assalamu
Right,
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
wa
barakatuh.
alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, this brings us to the end of the show. And subhanallah, there's a lot of things that we can try and go back to in the points that has been raised today. First of all, speaking about the NMCC with Molana Shakir and how we can actually, for some people, it may feel like they're deserting their family members, they're deserting their parents, but some people just genuinely don't have the time or the capability to take care of them. So the places like that are available for your care, for to help you take care of your family members. Then we also need to go back to the basics when learning about why we are Muslim and how we can carry on, inshallah ta'ala. And now another last point, inshallah, most importantly, we need to really make a lot of dua for our brothers and sisters in Palestine, as we know what has been happening in this past week or so, the tragedy and the heinous crimes which has been perpetrated against them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the victory and grant us all the victory so that we can go back and walk into Masjidul Aqsa without any fear, any prejudice, so that we can perform salah there, visit it like how Nabi Sallallahu had ordered us that there's 30 masajid, 30 masjids in the world that need to be visited. One being the Masjidul Haram in Mecca, the next one being his own masjid, Masjid Nabawi in Medina, and lastly Masjid Aqsa in Jerusalem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ultimate victory on earth as it will grant us salvation in the hereafter, inshallah ta'ala. Again, it is a beautiful Thursday evening. A lot of durood upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his family. And please do keep everyone in mind, most specifically those in Aqsa, most specifically those in Palestine, and the brothers and sisters in the whole world who are going through difficult times. And also, I mean, charity begins at home. Let's know what's happening in our neighborhood. Let's know what's happening with our neighbors. It's not a good thing. It's unfathomable that your neighbor will go to bed hungry while we are wasting money and splashing it in wrong avenues, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all and grant us the understanding of deen and life, inshallah ta'ala. Until we meet again next time, same place. This is Yunus Kawanga from the studios of Salam Media with my main man Sadiq, our studio operator. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.